Hello everyone. Welcome, welcome. That's the mic. This is good, right? Test, 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 test. High hands. Official banana eating stream. Why is paint changed, man? They like updated paint. There we go, fixed it. Like the book from Who I? Yeah, it's great. It's just great. What are you getting out of it? Can you articulate it? Hi, Richard. Yeah, that's it's called metta. Do you know metta, Richard? That's like loving kindness meditation. Super normal and very good. Very recommended and nice. Yeah, it's great. There have been some changes in my path, like until like 1 to 2 weeks ago my path was probably detaching, but now it feels like I'm detaching but getting closer at the same time. Cool. Sounds like you're sensing something that you weren't before. That's fun. Have you tried walking meditation? Are you asking me to Jen? It's pretty much all I did for like 7 years, is walking meditation. Whenever I was getting a download, I would just go for a walk. Or if I like ever felt like irritable, I would basically just like play video games until I just really couldn't stand the feeling of like dissatisfaction anymore, and then I'd just go for a walk. I mean, for me, Richard, it's like this is just my thing, is that I'm always getting insight just sort of naturally. Without doing anything. So it's a hay fever tablet. So like for me, walking meditation is sort of going for a walk while I get big insight downloads. That's nothing special. It's just like sitting meditation for me is closing my eyes while I get big information downloads. Yeah. Fun. Yeah. Do you have many precognitive downloads? What do you mean by that, Richard? Oh, so you know what happens next? Um, what happens next? Not really. I just know what's happening now a lot, which is usually a lot of enough information. I mean, I can find out what's gonna happen in the future, but it's something that I like instigate more so than just like randomly get. You know, my main thing is like just seeing the truth or seeing into the hearts of people, kind of. Yeah. It's fun. What a fun image, huh? My definition of walking meditation is like using your senses, sound, eyes, etc. to become more here and now, be curious of the environment. I don't need help being more here and now. I'm like default there. Yeah, like mindfulness is it's an interesting proxy for insight. Or like it's a useful lens for getting insight. I would say. But once you get the insight, you don't need to do the mindfulness anymore. Definitely just a tool rather than something which is like good by default. Oops, edited myself out. Sorry. It's kind of like how were you previously? Were you more anxious, Sarah, and not so much sure now? I got over social anxiety like a couple years into my path. Yeah. Yeah, and it's pretty complicated, the differences between like enlightened and not enlightened. Okay, interesting how, yeah, it's like there's this it's like there's a like blob of everything. This is like everything that's ever everything. It's like everything. I'll record this actually. Like how mindfulness gets insight. It's like in terms of insight, it's like this is a insight is kind of like a just reality. So let's say this is like the reality of everything. And the reality of everything is like always present in everyone's experience all the time. But we don't see it because of these like delusion clouds, basically. And these are just like illusions that make it seem like conceptual thought is the reality rather than the actual reality. It's kind of like surrounding it. So like in this part, in these parts which are exposed, it's like you're sensitive to what's actually going on. You kind of know what's actually going on. And then inside of these parts, you're like insensitive to what's going on. You just can't just immediately tell what's happening. Like you like rely on conceptual thought rather than just directly getting it from reality. So mindfulness kind of helps you identify these clouds. So you're like, oh, hold on a sec, like, this reality that I'm observing, actually, it doesn't correspond with, like, this whole part of the cloud being real. So, like, all of a sudden, like, all of this, part of the cloud disappears. And then you have your access to reality. And in terms of enlightenment, enlightenment is realizing that this reality is the substance of your experience. It's like who you actually are, rather than like these insensitivity puddles. And then kind of like cultivation before and after enlightenment is just gradually eliminating these puddles. And after you get enlightened, like all those of these, like you get like huge chunks out of all of these. Boom, boom, boom. And like all of these insensitivities are also suffering. So you lose a lot of suffering. But there's still some left. What's your daily routine right now? What kind of practices are you doing? I don't do any practices. I wake up. I talk to people online. Like answer questions or whatever. Have conversations with people. Then I do some PhD work. Watch some TV shows, movies. Just go to sleep. That's it. That's it. Artificial intelligence, Jen. Be done with it in like 16 days. So that'll be nice. Yeah, a lot more, Jed. Six hours meditation, 6 hours intense yoga. No, I don't do anything. A lot of social media. I don't need to do it, you know. I just don't need it. Yeah, I if you're not if you're not like extremely self-motivated and deeply interested in the subject, like you want to make it your whole life, and like can handle a lot of pain and difficulty, then don't do a PhD. It's like PhDs are kind of like, you know, it's for people that actually care about their work. It's not for people who have trouble with that. You have to be very self-motivated and like care a lot about what you're doing. I'd say if you're finding a master's hard, just don't do a PhD. You're like a job setting too, man. You're overstressed for no reason. But no, for no reason to Jen, it's no be, you know. I'm sure that stress exists for a reason. That's really nice that you're supporting supervisors, Jen. It can definitely not happen. It is, yeah, to Jen. Yeah, I'm not gonna work at the university. I'm trying to do like spiritual teaching full time. Yeah. Yeah, I just did that video about it to Jen. You remember? Be there. Yeah, I'm gonna put that in there. Yeah. Thank you, Tracksuit Jenny. You need your suffering relief for sure. Better dedicate your life for the benefit of all beings, said Tracksuit Jenny.
You're sticking around, in it to win it. My disposition is cold and distant, and I don't talk and I don't listen. Always waiting for the split decision. A fork in the road, where will it lead them? Off in my own world, fighting my demons, and I can't join them, and I can't beat them. They're hungry for blood, and I can't feed them. The same old song and so many stories. The nights were so young in the old days, and they don't make them like they used to. I still look into her eyes and see the future. Can't figure out why she's with me, count to Mississippi, and I'm headed back home. In her heart, she's a hippie, came alive in the bright lights of love in the city and it's home.
Hello, Hans. Hey Bill, nice to see you. I've been thinking about you. Do you have any time about experience the points on your path? Did you ever have the feelings of giving up or finding it too much to handle for a certain period? I mean, it was pretty hard for a while because nobody else was really enlightened. Like, up until 4 months before I got enlightened, I was like, man, like, the only people I know who are enlightened is, like, Yuji Krishnamurti and Lisa Carnes. And it's like, what the fuck? Is it even possible? Like, I wasn't even sure if it was possible to get enlightened. Then I saw Frank Yang's videos and I was like, god damn, it's super possible. But I feel like, you know, all of my time before I realized that it was possible to get enlightenment was kind of a low point. But after I realized it was possible, it was like, oh, like that's way more better. Yeah, no, I feel like all the time I was in a low point and like, you know, finding it too much to handle, but I don't know. I feel like I was always also sort of genuinely committed to it, even if I wasn't, like, outwardly so. It's like whenever something came up, I would trust it, even if I, you know, wasn't mega committed. Like waking up at 6 a.m. every day to meditate or something, you know. But I don't know. I feel like I kind of, oh, hang on. I feel like I kind of always trusted on some level that what I was doing was, or that enlightenment or spiritual stuff was what I wanted to happen. Yeah, I don't think that ever really changed. It was just about trying harder or less hard based on how likely I thought it was to get enlightened. Peace out, MCTB. How's it going, Bill? This your manifesto? Yeah, I'm gonna email this to Boris Johnson before I fucking go nuts. No, I'm kidding. So I'm writing a book. Yeah. How you spend your first 3 days being enlightened? Hey Kantai, nice to see you. Got enlightened, and then I was like, just kind of chilling, listening to music, I think. Yeah, I'm writing this off the top of my head. And I was like, I don't know, like, I think I like smoked weed. Oh yeah, I asked my friend who's been enlightened for ages if I got enlightened. And he was like, yeah. But you gotta get like your body has to be enlightened too. That's like the next step. So then I did some acid or magic mushrooms or something to try and integrate the enlightenment into my body. Like I did some vows or intentions to use that to integrate it into my body. Then I started interfacing with like interdimensional beings, talking to them. I think I had sex. Smoked a bunch of weed. Called Daniel Ingram. Had a chat with him. I spent like shitload of money gambling. It wasn't my money, it was my sister's money. That's about it, I think. I don't think it's real, Dre. My mind's completely empty. I'm not even really conscious right now. Do carrots raw in that? I don't know. It's not really a question that resonates for me, Dre. Like, I'm not really in that mode of like, do I care if it's raw or not? It's not really like a thing that's in my mind. It just happened, Hans. There was a hint though. Like, the night before, I had this like little Buddha statue that I was bringing with me everywhere. And it had this like, and it kind of represented like suffering for me. And I was sort of connecting it with all these different parts of my life, sort of bringing it around. And I brought it with me to my partner's house. And it was like this like a very real representation of like the Buddha. And like what I considered to be, you know, sort of like suffering or like the path. And when I just my partner, she was making a fire, building a fire. And I just got the like instinct or intuition to throw the Buddha in the fire. And first I was like, can I throw the Buddha in the fire? And she was like, no. Because the Buddha was kind of our friend, we were kind of chilling with him. And then we waited until like everyone else kind of left and it was just me and Jess. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna throw the Buddha in the fire now. She was like, okay. So I sort of threw him in. And he was kind of just like melting and burning. And Jess was getting like psychedelic visuals from sort of the flame. And I was seeing some wild shit too. And then the spirit of Bankei Yotaku, the guy who wrote the Unborn Mind book, sort of came to me, and he was like, "You're my disciple now," or like, "You're my like descendant," something like that. Like you're the next one in my line. And like you're enlightened now. Like you've done everything that you need to successfully be my disciple. Or my descendant. And I was like to Jess, I was like, the spirit of Bankei Yotaku just visited me and said I was enlightened and like his, no, I didn't say I was enlightened, said I was his his descendant or something. Like he passed the lineage on to me. She was like, oh, cool. And then the next day, I was just sitting on the sofa listening to Najabes. And like all the suffering in my perception just went away. And everything got really smooth. And I was like, oh, go enlightened. And I just like wrote down the time and date. When this happened, like 4 months ago. December, I think. Yeah, December last year. It was the 14th of... No, wait, no, it was November. It was the 14th of November, 11:42 PM is when I got enlightened. So... yeah. These are cool stories, man. Glad I asked. Yeah, happy to share, yeah. What was your motivation to get enlightened? I was lying in bed. And I was like, why do anything? This is like 2 months before my enlightenment. 2-3 months. Yeah, 2 months actually, yeah, 2 months. 2 months before enlightenment. Up until this point, like I'd been going through, you know, these huge insight shifts, like 3 to 10 times per day as usual, and I had my energy powers. Sure, Bo. Just give me a second. The 4 paths. I don't know the 4 paths. I don't know what that is, can't I? Anyway, yeah. So. Yeah. So it was like 2 months before my enlightenment, and I was lying in bed, and I was like, why do anything? It's like there's no reason to do anything. Like, I couldn't find any reason of like why to do stuff. And I was like, hold up, why not do stuff? And I was like, oh, I can't find any reason for that either. I was like, okay, I guess I'll do something. It's like, what should I spend my time on? Seeing as like I can now just like do stuff, because it just kind of makes sense. It's like, oh, why not do stuff? I can just do stuff for like no reason, basically. I was like, okay. I mean, I may as well get enlightened. Like, that seems like a good goal. And then 2 months later, I got enlightened. So. The book is amazing. It is. It's great. 3 trainings and characteristics are first up. Can you chat about the overlap of impermanence and no self? Sure. Oh, sorry. Let me close out of this. The overlap of impermanence and no self. So impermanence is like everything's changing. So there's nothing stable. And in the same way, there's no stable self, right? Like there's no permanent thing which you can identify as yourself. And no self is really also pointing to the reality that everything's kind of aware of itself. Like you don't need to actually be a person that knows things or manages things. It's like everything kind of manages itself and does it by itself. And they're both kind of pointing to the same one thing, and that one thing is something like everything is just an interconnected web of everything that knows itself and is happening by itself. And it's like the more that you can kind of use impermanence and no self to kind of chip away at your ideas that things aren't that way, and you just like the more you chip away at your ideas, the more sensitive you become to the actual reality. Yeah. Alright guys, we're gonna be ending the stream real soon. What's this 4 paths thing, Kantide? What did I say? 4 paths? What does that mean? I'm very mysterious, I'm very esoteric. Even I don't understand myself. I didn't even know what that is. Hi LeBron. Glad you came. Maybe. Yeah. Oh, the 4-path model. I see. Right. Yeah. Yeah, the MCTP is the best one for this. What do you do for the rest of the day? I'm gonna chat with my partner for some hours. Then I'm probably gonna finish off my PhD. get Enlightened a bunch, as per normal. Probably have some strange thing happen related to extraterrestrials. Stuff like that. Yeah, again, the four path Madokan Tide is like, first path is one insight loop. So there's like a cycle of insight which ends with a secession, which is like, no, you're not in time and space anymore for like a period of time, and then so you skip your so it's like times like this, right? And then you like skip this much, so you're like, in your perception, it's just like you're missing that thing happening. So like one insight loop is first path, two insight loops is second path, and then third path is when the spiritual and the normal merge together. So there's no distinction between either of them. And fourth path is when that's like fully merged, and you notice that you are this awareness of everything, rather than the rather than like anything else. Yeah, well, I'm doing the final corrections to my thesis, Stray. And then I'm just gonna hand it in and get my PhD. No problem, Candide. I'd put you in a pretty deep third path, if you're wondering. That's the topic of your face. It's no, I was writing my book, Dre. My thesis is about sort of like spatial representations of text documents. It's artificial intelligence. Okay, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate your questions. Hope you guys all have a nice day. Thank you for tuning in. Feel free to message me if that's what you want to do. You can beat drift out. There's a difference between it skipping and you drifting out, but being like and it not skipping. Richard? I don't know. I feel like there's a difference. But maybe not. Maybe not. It's like quite a specific thing, really. Peace.